Today's episode is sponsored by Dragon's Den, Games and Hobbies. You can visit them at 552 Main Street in Honesdale, PA, or call them at 570-647-4633.
The Dragon's Den, where gamers unite. Spice the owner in Honesdale under neon lights. Video games, board games, cards at every site. A haven for all, where fun takes flight. Come join the quest in this gaming paradise, where dragons roam free under endless skies. Adventure always, with every roll of the dice. In Dragon's Den, where the magic never dies. From retro classics to the latest trends, dive into battles with allies and friends. Strategize your moves till the very end. In this realm of games, the fun never ends. Gather round for events galore, a place of joy like never before. Come join the quest in this game paradise, where dragons roam free under endless skies. Adventure awaits with every roll of the dice. In Dragon's Den, where the magic never dies. Unleashing the hive metal tools will be waging. Join us on the journey, gaming is engaging. NDT Gaming, our mission never raging. From pixels to dice, we discuss it all. The thrill of victory, the bitterest defeats fall. Strategies, campaigns, and character stamps all. A love for the games, both big and small. Through big souls and cards, our friendship will sprawl. Join us on the journey, gaming is engaging. NDT Gaming, our passion never raging. Malaging. Malaging. From pixels to dice, we discuss it all. The thrill of victory, the bitterest defeats fall. Strategies, campaigns, and character stamps all.
I want it.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another fantastic episode of NDT Gaming. I am Corey. Alongside me are Fire Exit, aka Jared, aka the National Treasure, and our good dude Mike from down at Dragon's Den Games and Hobbies down on Main Street in Honesdale, PA. Guys, how you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Better now that the week's over. Better now that I get to hang out with some friends and chat about video games and all kinds of stuff like that. Much better now. Been a long week.
I'm better now that you're here.
Oh, shucks. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you. So why don't we get right into it?
It's been a while.
It has been. It's been a while. We've had a busy month. We've had a lot going on. But we're back. We're here. We're hanging out. We're having fun. Yeah. All right, so let's get into it. The main thing for right now, and then we'll let you get out all your pent up knowledge and inventing and anything else you got going on up there. 30th anniversary PlayStation. Like I had noticed earlier this week. I had no idea. I didn't pay attention. Shame on me. I know. But when I fired up the PS5 and I heard that nostalgic sound from back when I was a little kid playing Final Fantasy VII on my PlayStation for the very first time, heard that awesome PlayStation startup and noticed it was the 30th anniversary, I was so excited. I thought that was a nice thing that they did. And then just all the old memories started flooding back.
I was ringing. I think people were petitioning Sony's to keep the theme of the anniversary.
They were
cool. I hope they do. I hope they keep that startup. I love it. It makes me so happy.
There was a petition to see if Sony will keep it, and what they might do is just make it like a theme kind of pack where you could just download it and just here, take it, shut up, go away. And despite Sony having a few rough months with games that didn't exactly work, and let's face it, every console's had a game that doesn't work because they've been getting on it with that. I forget what the online game is that like there's like Concord that nobody bought or played or anything like that. It's like, congratulations, one didn't work. Here's 7 million that did and built memories with. It's really impressive to watch 30 years of Sony come out in this one whole like over the years and just see like what game makes you think of Sony. For a lot of people, it's Crash Bandicoot. For some people, it's Twisted Metal. For some people, it's Siphon Filter. Was it Metal Gear Solid? There's been, Tomb Raider, PS1, Christmas morning, cracking that open, having your mom forgot to buy you a memory card. So you got to play, all 3 hours for Tomb Raider before you realized you just had to pause it and, running down the Sears to go grab one. It's been in a wild journey for Sony, and I can definitely see it growing. I mean, it was the one to go head-to-head with Nintendo in the gaming world of handhelds. I mean, everybody forgets PSP and Vita. I really just think those consoles were just so far ahead of its time that it needed to come out sometime like today. That thing played movies.
Yeah.
That thing like downloaded games. That thing did everything.
PSP was awesome.
It was.
I remember I had to have it. I had to have that for the same reason I had to have a regular PlayStation. Like when I was young, I didn't get new gaming systems all the time. I had a Nintendo, I had a Sega Genesis. That was it. I wasn't lucky enough to go get an N64. I didn't have an NES, none of that cool stuff. So I jumped from Nintendo and Sega straight to a PlayStation because I wanted Final Fantasy VII. I loved the Final Fantasy series so much that I wanted to jump straight to that. Didn't care about all the ones in between. I didn't care if I got a Super Nintendo to play the other ones. I wanted I wanted a PlayStation 4 7. I wanted a PSP for Crisis Core. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, I had the big one, I had the small one, and I had the PS1, the really small one, like in the slim.
I remember that.
I went through PlayStations quite a bit before I hopped on the Xbox wagon and then hopped back over to the PlayStation.
I was a Sony kid. That's
never had the 3 actually.
No.
That's
where I first discovered Skyrim. I think that's like the 3rd or 4th episode in a row I've mentioned that title. It's just so good. But yeah, I've had every PlayStation since it came out. I love it. Dave Dreamer says Vita was so ahead of its time. It's just got little to no support from Sony. And it's a crying shame. I also started my PlayStation journey with the PS1.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like.
I loved it.
Vita was nice.
What was the title that you remember most, or that you loved the most on the original?
Me?
Yeah, we'll start with you, Mike.
Oh, come on, you know that answer. Resident Evil 1. Eye roll, he says. I think it was Crash Bandicoot, and I think it was Resident Evil 1 or the two that will always stick with me. And I have like one of the longest friendships with my friend Jim over Resident Evil, and I was talking about it. Resident Evil 2 came out, and it was like a rush to get to EB Games in the mall to go buy it for the PS1, and it was incredible. And it was just one of those games that always stuck with me. But I love the part in Uncharted. Have you played the Uncharted games at all?
I've played one of them. I think I played 4.
I think that's the one I played.
If you get to, I think it's 3 or 4. I think it's the last one. It's Drake and his wife's daughter that's playing, and her mom has a PS1 hooked up because it's Naughty Dog. They made Crash Bandicoot. You can play Crash Bandicoot in Uncharted, and it's great.
That's pretty cool. I dig that. That's neat. Yeah, Crash Bandicoot was a good one.
And it's an actual.
Yeah, I got the I got one of the remake or the remakes or the remasters or whatever Crash Bandicoot for PS4 last year, year before, I forget when. But I love that one. I mean, my favorite's clearly Final Fantasy VII. I knew had to be Resident Evil. We're gonna get into some Resident Evil talk a little later in the episode.
Oh yes, we are.
Yeah. Can't wait. Ape Escape for what it did for the DualShock controller. Ape Escape. I don't remember that one. I don't think I played that one.
I played a little bit of Ape Escape. Final Fantasy.
I loved Ape Escape.
But obviously, I'm going to go with 7 because 7 was where I started my video games.
9 was really good. Like 9 was really, they really captured that fantasy feel, I thought. Like, I love the
Well,
music. I love the medieval theme.
It was very controversial for when they brought that back because Final Fantasy IX was one of those, they weren't sure if it was a good idea or not to kind of go back to the fantasy setting because we just did steampunk with 7 and 8 had Squall, like the edgy kid. To go fully back to 9 and like the crystals and knights and magic and black mages and white mages. I mean, Princess Garnet, her original robe when she's running out is a white mage's robe. If you're paying attention, when she grabs her robe and swings it was a white mage's cloak she had on.
Yeah. I think that's what made me like that one so much. Like 8 was all right. I liked 8, but 9 is a close second to me to 7. I love 9. I've actually got that one on my PlayStation right now. I'm gonna have to play through that again. But that is the exact reason I liked that one, is because of those little Easter eggs, because of those little things that they threw in there, and how Vivi was the Black Mage. Like, looked exactly like the Black Mage from the very original Final Fantasy game. I loved it.
As he should.
The remake is good.
Well, that's rumor mill is that 9 is one of the ones that's going to be remastered next.
So the remake when they did, what was the remake that I played? 3? I don't know. The one of the early ones that they remade, the remake was good. So I can only imagine, what it's going to be like, because I played a little bit. This wasn't my favorite. 10 and 10-2, those were the ones I was thinking of. Those were the remakes that turned out phenomenal.
Yeah. 10 was one of those ones. It was so good. Now we're going to turn this into a Final Fantasy episode because of PlayStation. But 10 was one of those games, like, I really loved the gameplay. I loved a lot about that game, the sphere grid, the leveling, all that. The story to me, the voice acting. The story to me was the difficult part to follow. But again, I played that when I was younger. I haven't played it since. So to me, I thought the story was difficult in that one.
Up until the point, then you find out that Aaron is dead. Like,
yeah,
I was like, oh shit.
I always loved his character too. I thought he was cool as shit.
And you know what? They keep calling him the old man, and then you realize he was only like 34 in that game, or like 33, and they're like, "Oh man, get over here!" And I was like, "34 is not old, you shithead."
Yeah,
old, but then you realize Titus and Yuna were like 17, 18. It says in the book, I think Titus was like 18, 19. Yuna was a year younger than her, and Riku was 16. I think that was the age things, but they're like, I guess when you were 16, 33 was old. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we all know that Final Fantasy X is where James Cameron got his inspiration for that scene in Avatar, right? That scene between Yuna and Titus.
Oh, yeah.
That actually won cutscene of the year back in 2000, I believe, whatever the hell it came out.
That was legit. Final Fantasy X was pretty all right for what it was. I mean, it was the first Final Fantasy that's fully voiced. Yeah, for better or worse. Love the sphere grid. Yeah, the sphere grid was different. That was really different.
And then when they started getting into like the whole paradigm shifts, I thought that was cool too. So with like, is it 13? When they started doing like the Commando, the Ravager, the Synergist, and all that stuff, that being able to stagger was pretty cool. Like, well, I learned that system and got really good at it. And I was like, yeah, I like this system. But yeah, I love the sphere grid though. That's kind of where I kind of started liking the leveling up on Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it's where you can more or less start customizing your characters in your party.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty neat.
Well, with 10 and 10-2, their outfits are all based on J-pop stars. That's where if you saw like Yuna's outfit running to 10-2 and like 10, Titus's outfit was built on one of the guys who was like big into like the J-pop, K-pop scene or whatever I think it was. Yuna's second outfit with the girl who sang Real Emotion and the girl who did the other song in the beginning, What Can I Do For You? Her outfits were based on that, and that's where she wore on tour, I believe, too.
Yeah. Never played 10-2. I played a little bit of 10-2. I didn't finish it, but man, this episode tonight is making me know what games I'm playing next. Like when I get bored with Skyrim, I know where I'm going next. I got to play all these Final Fantasy games over again. I'm going to have to play some Resident Evil games over again, and I'm sure I'm going to want to even more when we're done listening to Mike talk about Resident Evil in a bit here. And Dino Crisis, right? I got to get Dino Crisis.
It's free right now on PlayStation.
Free on PlayStation. God, there's so many games I got to play now.
You don't even need Plus. It's just free.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right, so why don't we let you get into your Resident Evil stuff? What you got for us in the way of Resident Evil?
Well, like the Pope picking the new Pope, they had to light the chimney. Everybody cheered and screamed. They are working on the new one. It is confirmed that Leon and Jill will be our main characters in this one. This is the last numbered Resident Evil that they said they're going to make. That this is not the last Resident Evil they're going to make. That was a big misconception.
Yeah.
Because fans were like, this is bullshit. You can't do that. And they said it is the last numbered. Okay, the story officially ends with like the numbered story officially ends. That does not mean they're not going to remake and redo, because Code Veronica has been also listed to be a remake. What they're also talking about redoing is the Outbreak series, which if you've never played is absolutely incredible for the PS2. They were first like online Resident Evil. You got to play with your friends. It was a bunch of civilians trying to escape Raccoon City during the outbreak. That was incredible. 9 is supposed to be like the biggest, the best, the everything that they ever did. It's going back to survival horror.
Ooh,
the guy who did Village is completely taking control of it. And everybody just kind of let go of the steering wheel. And the guy who did Baker Mansion and all that is going to do this game.
Okay.
Can we get a multiplayer Resident Evil game? That would be nice. Like,
oh God, I hope so. We did Operation
that would
Raccoon
be something.
City. That was one. It didn't do great, but I loved it. But then again, I'm very biased towards all that. Outbreak Files 1 and 2 were completely online too, so you could play with your friends. So that was multiplayer too. 5 and 6, I believe you got to do co-op. But as far as like online go with like one person plays, that's kind of what Outbreak and that's kind of what those were supposed to be.
So what style of multiplayer would you want, Jared? Do you want something like co-op where you can work together?
Either, and I'm not saying so. There's this new one that came out, the Marvel Rivals, right? It's like an Overwatch type game, Apex style, kind of like where your Marvel characters battle royal, right? But I also think a really cool idea would also be is if Resident Evil did a survival game, like open world, where anybody can join the server and it's all Resident Evil style, right?
That would be really cool.
Really cool.
That's the kind of stuff I dig. I like that.
Like DayZ, but not DayZ, but like, yeah, that survival craft.
Like 7 Days to Die, but as Resident Evil.
Turn that frown upside down, Corey. From the Capcom leak, allegedly they were working on something like that.
Yeah, now that's how you make money. Make the game free, and then let people buy skins and weapons and whatever the.
I mean, you had that style, right? I mean, Resident Evil was all about, you know, crafting stuff from your inventory, right? Like you go and you mix your herbs, and I think it would be really cool to go like survival, go around, collect items, build a base or whatever it is, and then you can play with other friends and different characters, but zombie type, like it'd be fun. I think Resident Evil should do it.
Ooh, you know,
Capcom would need to step that one up.
Well, they could make a lot of money off of something like that. You know what would make it even more fun? Is to give the player an option. If they die in this multiplayer mode, their character can then transform or mutate into some kind of monster.
Zombie.
Yeah, because Dying Light.
They did that in Outbreak.
Oh yeah, where they have, but with Dying Light they have the be the zombie mode where you get to be this mutant zombie. Oh, it's so much fun. So much fun.
In Outbreak and Operation Raccoon City, if you actually do not get like a cure fast enough, as they say, like to slow it down, you actually do turn zombie and you can go attack your other like people.
Nice.
And then they have to gun you down and you have to do it over, but it was fun.
I put a nice little twist on that
Yeah,
game.
that'd be the one that on Resident Evil 4 when you got the one where you popped its head off, right, with the gun, and then it grew another head.
Yeah, the parasite ones. Yeah, those ones were neat.
Las Plagas.
Las Plagas. Yes. Mierda. So
But
one
they
thing
just
that
been
stuck out
announcing
to me.
And everybody's just been really super excited about it. They're talking about rebooting the TV series and they're rebooting the movies, and they're like, George Romero's coming out with the George Romero interview where he was going to write the actual movie, and they were going to give it to the man who made Zombies, the whole thing, and then they're like, nah, nobody wants to see that.
But see, the thing is, I think everybody wants to see. Well, I thought the Resident Evil series as a whole was okay. I would prefer to see the video game story play out because you have so many different directions that it takes. Like you have different characters that you could follow. It would be intense. It would almost be like watching Game of Thrones, where you have all these different little sub stories within the greater story.
Somebody's never seen the animated ones.
Those are good. Love them.
No,
I don't know if they should go with the movies. But
Degeneration, Vendetta, Death Island, and I'm forgetting a few other. The animated movies are absolutely fantastic, and actually do study that. And every fan goes, "That? Why can't you just give us that?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, we didn't think you'd like it."
I mean, I remember turning one on and thinking that it was a real life movie, but it was animated, and I was like, "Dude, they did a fantastic job," because I was blown away. Like.
They do a fantastic job with these animated movies anymore.
Yeah.
I was told that the new Transformers movie is the best one of the bunch, and it's animated. Like I was told that you can't even tell.
Yeah.
So now I got to watch that one. What's that one called again? I got to watch that one. Can't remember the name of it.
Wasn't it the dinosaur and the Animorph one or whatever it was?
CGI truly has come a long way. It really has. It's wild. But yeah, I don't know. Is it the animal one? I don't know.
Rise of the Beasts.
It's been a while.
Or Transformers
movie.
One that just
okay.
came out in September. Transformers 1.
Yeah, I hear it's fantastic. So apparently, I'll have to go back and watch the animated Resident Evil movies because that's what it needs to be. That's what they should have done. And there's so many games out there that would make an incredible movie. Or you know what? Don't even give me movies anymore. I don't want movies because movies, you don't get all of the content in it. What I want are the series. Like I want the series where it has hour-long episodes. Give me 12 one-hour episodes a season. Done. You can get the whole story in it. I love it like that.
I mean, they made a couple board games for Resident Evil where it's just you're getting out of Raccoon City or go find this. Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 have board games coming out. There's fan-made RPG ones coming out for it. It's not just video games and movies now. It's come over into my neighborhood, and it's pretty fascinating to see that kind of,
So have you heard anything else about Resident Evil? Okay, wait. Take back what I said. What are you going to do?
No, go ahead. You go first.
Oh, okay.
I
was just going to ask
I
was just asking if you had heard anything about 9 other than it's in production. Are there any leaks on what it might be about?
Well, I know we're going pretty much back to Europe. I know that's the big thing. They didn't say where. They have an idea from what got leaked. But I mean, once again, Capcom's got enough where it can be well, let's rewrite that since they know this is going to happen.
Yeah,
they're going to do something where it's kind of the double-edged sword. We think it's going to be something like if you play more Jill than Leon might die. If you play more Leon than Jill dies. There's supposed to be another big Wendigo monster chasing them throughout this town, and it's supposed to take place in a temple, a city. It's all run down and crazy. It's supposed to be all over the place. But once again, it's all rumor speculated. So I mean, they're pretty,
It is.
touch and go on I heard this, I heard that, and I mean,
Yeah, they said they haven't released anything, and it's just like the franchise people, the fan base are just making these speculations that this is the route that they're going to take, but they virtually said like nothing has come out about Resident Evil 9 like officially. So
okay, well at least it's
So
there.
as far as
and it's
official
something to
goes,
look
no,
forward
they've
to.
been like we're making it. I mean, it's the guy coming back who did Village. It's the guy that's coming back that did, 7. And I mean, 7 is considered the revival of the series where it did absolutely incredible. I mean, 1, 2, 3, and 4 will always go down as like the greatest of the series. And that was, and then when it lost its way and it kind of found itself back, I mean, freaking that Baker Mansion and having the dad walk around, that scared the hell out of people.
That's what Resident Evil should be, though. I think that's what it should be.
That's what he said. The guy is like, Silent Hill lost its way. We lost our way. We need to go back to scaring the hell out of people. That's what it should be. It shouldn't be this action-packed zombies on snowmobiles in the middle of, wherever.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a little bit of a tough time with five, I think it was. I think it was 5 I struggled with. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it's nice. But I tell you what they did do. They did choose the right characters. They did choose the right characters to put into this.
They 100% did.
Because those two, I think, are probably the most
cool.
popular in the series, right?
They are. They are like 2 of the most. They could have went with Chris, but that doesn't mean you won't see him. They just said, like the coolest part of 7 at the end was the fact that Chris, kind of drops down from the helicopter and is like, "Hey, I'm Chris Redfield. I'm here to," and you're like, "Well, better late than never, Chris."
Yeah. Thanks for nothing. All right, you got anything else on Resident Evil? I was gonna say, is he lagging behind?
Do I have anything else? I know they said. You remember the Mila Jovovich? I know I butchered that name. The movies.
Yeah.
They said they're making a new one.
Another one with her in it. Another one with Alice.
Yeah. Apparently, they're bringing people back to do another movie.
Yeah. More telekinesis. Let's go.
More telekinesis clones and a story that didn't make sense.
Oh my god.
Did not wait.
Whatever. It is what it is.
They did say they are remaking Code Veronica, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah. I had that one on Dreamcast. Sega Dreamcast, I believe. That was an interesting game system. All right, there is another game that has officially been announced that they're now in production. They're working on it finally. And I'm excited for this one. And it's giving me another game that I need to go back and replay. On Death March, obviously. I have to play it on Death March this time. The Witcher 3. So they're putting Witcher 4 into production officially.
I've heard this too.
And
it's amazing that you made. I think this game's better than Skyrim.
You think what? The Witcher 3 itself?
I think the whole Witcher universe is more enthralling than the other Scroll series.
So when I played, so I played The Witcher 3 after I played Skyrim, and I always thought to myself, man, if I had the battle mechanics of The Witcher in the game of Skyrim, that would have been incredible. Because I love the battle system in Witcher 3. I loved it.
Well, I can see it being more like Dragon Age and more like Dark Souls is where they're probably going to end up going with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see if we get Garrett back or if we're just going to get a new Witcher. Because, I mean, when you become a Witcher, you kind of cut your life expectancy in half. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. The other thing that I think would be important, and I got to start doing this a little bit more. I need to start reading more. I'm sure my wife is going to be overjoyed to hear me say that. But I really want to read the Witcher series to kind of see where the story's supposed to go, because I kind of want to know where this one is going.
I absolutely recommend that.
Like, do they have more story to tell about Geralt? right? Is the wild hunt all that you get out of this?
Well, yeah.
Or what?
No. I mean, the books, you know, the saying the book is better. Well, with Witcher,
Yeah.
the book was better. He told you so much more in depth. Him actually like mentoring under like the other Witchers to become the Witcher he is. I don't know if you know what you have to go through to become a Witcher, but like out of 30 people, only like 3 end up surviving.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember hearing that stat. You know what movie reminded me of The Witcher is Seventh Son. Seventh Son reminded me a lot of that. A lot. Look at her. I will buy you the books. I have the first one.
So,
oh, look at that. That's
they were saying that the first 3 Witchers were, by definition, a trilogy. They said it was always a trilogy, but they may take this 4th one. It might actually be different than the first 3. So, but they said they spent so much money and invested in this world. They love this Witcher world, so they're gonna stay in that world.
Yeah.
So,
and as long as they give us that, world and just go above and beyond and make it so much better than The Witcher 3, honestly, it could be just a slight bit better than
they
Witcher
could.
3.
I mean,
This will be amazing.
They could keep
Oh, look
to the same character, but different. They just probably won't do the same story like the movies or whatever. They'll probably take in a whole different direction. They said it's going to be a different.
well, it's all based on Slavic folklore, and I mean they barely
Yeah.
touched that. And I mean, think of how much more you could go with that. I mean, they didn't even introduce like Baba Yaga or anything else like that in there. They did in the TV show, but I mean, like she's got a whole, you know, there's a whole folklore over in that, you know, Eastern European you could go crazy with. You know what I mean? How many monsters and every other folklore you can do.
Oh
And
yeah.
They did.
that's all it's based out of, because I think the main company's out of Warsaw.
CD Project Red.
Mhm.
But they did say
Yeah.
that Polaris is going to be the first game in a new Witcher saga, and the saga will consist of 3 games.
Oh yeah.
So you're probably going to see 3 new Witchers come out of this.
So that almost makes it certain that Geralt's not going to be the main character in this.
And that's fine. You could make somebody new, because like you said, like The Witcher, your life expectancy, you're not supposed to make it to 80. You make it to like 40, and that's kind of your end run, and you're kind of it. So maybe you grabbing, was it Suri? Was that her name?
Siri. Yeah.
His daughter, he was kind of raising.
Yeah.
I could see her and like somebody else. Maybe she's training someone now in the ways of The Witcher. We'll see.
Yeah. That could be cool.
Or you go around
But I
as
mean,
the
like-
guy that sings a lot.
Yeah. Dandelion. Yes.
Yeah.
Dandelion. Oh my God, no.
Toss a coin to your Witcher. Oh, Valley of Plenty.
That's a good song.
Now that you reminded me of that, I am going to
You didn't know
annoy
that-
Alex with this song so much. Oh, I love it. But yeah,
You
there's
didn't
a lot
own a
around.
D&D store and have to hear that song on repeat every day.
Yeah, there's a lot to this series though with the author of the books, right? So wasn't the author of the books kind of upset with the direction that the video game series took it, because it wasn't like true to his story, like as it didn't stay as true to the story as he would have liked. And then with the Witcher series on Netflix, it started to stray again, and that's what pissed off Henry Cavill and the author, because they promised.
Well, you
stick
had
to it.
Henry Cavill, the king of the nerds, playing him, and everybody loved it. You had the guy who was like, sorry, he is king of the nerds. The dude like was playing like World of Warcraft before he was called for Superman. The man brought 40K, to like a whole realm of people who did not know what 40K was. And the dude played Witcher, and it was amazing. And like he's working on the 40K series coming out for Amazon, which is going to be incredible. But the guy who did write the books and was saying that like the Netflix series or the whatever who did it strayed completely. And the video games were like, you kind of got it right, but that's not really what I was gunning for. You really do have to just read the books, because the books are so much better.
Maybe I'll do that. I'll definitely do that.
And
But yeah,
Corey, you should know there is Resident Evil books.
Oh, is there really? I did not know that.
There is Resident Evil books done by S.D. Perry. I believe there's 6 or 7 books in the series right now.
Yeah, if I remember right, the author of the Witcher series said that Henry Cavill is the Witcher. Like, he is who he envisioned. So bravo to Netflix for ruining that one.
So he was talking about how when he got approached by CD Projekt Red, he thought they were stupid that The Witcher would not be a good video game, right? He was just like, it's not going to make any money or whatever for a video game. But so he wanted a lump sum of money instead of a royalty, because he was like, dude, you're not going to make enough money. So but yeah, so that's kind of where he was saying that he thought CD Projekt Red was stupid for wanting
even attempting it.
Yeah.
And
you can't turn my book series into a video game. That's not going to work.
Pretty much what he said.
Dave says Resident Evil books were so abundant back in the late 90s. Why do I not remember seeing them? Like, legit full-on novels, right?
Yeah, S.D. Perry wrote them.
All right, I'll have to look into that too.
The first one's called The Umbrella Conspiracy, I do believe. Next one is City of the Dead. Caliban Cove, the Nemesis.
I'm sure it goes into a lot more detail about how everything went down. And that's the one thing I found hating about movies, is that they rush through stories. They don't tell you everything. And you don't really get the full feel of what it is that's supposed to be happening there.
Well, look at Lord of the Rings. Look how much he left out of the books when Peter Jackson did that. That was, people were like, well, there was no Tom Bombadil. This didn't actually happen. Arwen didn't save Frodo from going across the river. That wasn't that. That was, that didn't happen.
Listen, my wife is an avid reader, so every time I watch a movie that has a book already that she has already read, and through the whole movie, well, this didn't happen in the book. Oh, the book describes that so much better. And the whole movie is just nonstop. I'm like, just
does she do that with Harry Potter?
Yes, better than all the time with Harry Potter.
Better than Ubisoft. They're having one hell of a fire to put out right now.
Oh, really?
Oh, we did not hear.
No.
The CEO of Ubisoft said our game's not working because it is the customers to blame.
Which game is this?
Is it Skull and Bones?
It's like Skull and Bones, the Star Wars games, all those are like, the games aren't working because our customers suck.
Nah, I envisioned Skull and Bones to be a lot better than it was. I played it and I was like, they used a whole different developer. Like it just sucked.
It wasn't Skull and Bones, it was that Star Wars game that they did.
Well, that one too.
The Outlaws,
that
whatever
one.
it was.
Outlaws, yeah. So
if you had to do $100 pre-order to keep all your gear, and then you end up not even being able to keep your stuff, and people were pissed.
Yeah, because they said you were, what did they say, renting? Yeah, not buying, you were renting the stuff.
Well, that's what he said. He's like, well, when you buy a game digitally, you're not owning it, you're renting it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's kind of like the play. All right, so anniversary of PlayStation. Here's my one gripe with PlayStation. PlayStation Plus. They advertise it as you get 2 free games a month. Sometimes you have the option of 3 games a month. You get free games.
I agree, Dave.
So they tell you get these games. But what they don't tell you is if you stop paying for PlayStation Plus, you lose access to those games. So technically you're not getting free games. Again, you're paying to rent the games.
Yeah, but that's because you're playing for a subscription. That subscription clearly states that you're able to play these games if you have this pass. So I could see that.
Well, it's different. It's different than the Game Pass, though, isn't it? Because you're paying $60 a month. What are you supposed to get? You're only supposed to be able to play the games while you have the package. So downloading the games, you don't technically own the games. That sucks because I want those games that I paid $60 a month for.
It's the same. I mean, you're paying for a subscription to be able to play the games. If you don't have the subscription, they just don't want you to be able to play the games. It's the same way with Game Pass. Yeah.
So rude.
But yeah, and then there's another game. I don't know if you're aware of, Mike. It's another battle royal type game. They're shutting down X Defiant.
Yes.
So all the servers are going down. They're just completely getting rid of X Defiant.
Why do you think retro's kind of coming back in a big way?
This is why.
Say what you will about, yeah.
That's why. There's too many
she's right.
subscription
Too many
services.
subscriptions to everything. I swear to God, if Netflix goes up one more thing in subscription fees, I'm just going to break out a DVD player and go back to FYE. Like, it's crazy. And this is why, like, I had a guy come in the other day. I sold a PS2, and he's just like, dude, I just want to go back and play games where I don't have to, you know, I only own half of it. Wait, I have to pay for the other half. Call of Duty's coming out. Oh, for $20, you could buy the superior sound to it.
Or the constant updates. The constant updates.
Which will about Code Veronica on the PS2, but at least you didn't have to do updates every 10 days.
Yep.
It's not every 10 days. It's every time I've opened up Call of Duty, it's asking me to update it. So I feel like it's almost every day. Yeah.
Yeah, and some of them are crazy long too. And take up a lot of storage.
Having to pay to upgrade your audio so you have an advantage over people. It's just fucking crazy.
That's bullshit. Oh my God, when that came out and I heard about that, I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
You like that?
Paying for audio, a better audio for an advantage in game. You're paying to do better in the game.
$20.
X Defiant was another Ubisoft game that they are shutting down because too many glitches. There was too many struggles with the features, and so they're just shutting it down in June. Like I didn't realize that was another Ubisoft game, but since we're talking about Ubisoft, that was
we're heading towards another video game crash.
Yeah. And everybody is going to be going to people like Mike down here at Dragon's Den on Main Street in Honesdale to get their retro fix on. Because it's just the better way to do it.
There's no way they're on sale
you
too.
Turn it on and you play. That's it. No way they're on sale. No way.
There's no way I knocked like $20 off all the consoles and give you free games with everyone. There's no way I would do that. Oh wait, I did. No.
And you ship.
If you don't think I have shamelessly promoted, you are absolutely wrong. I will do that.
It says it right in your name, Mike from Dragon's Den.
Dude, I did something really cool the other day, and I'm really kind of happy. We sold a PS2 the other day, and I basically told the guy, like, go pick out 5 games for it, and, like, I kind of carried over my Black Friday special from over to there, so I gave him, like, a memory card and 5 games. So I have 1 PS2 left, and I will do that again.
That's awesome. It is the season of giving, is it not?
It is.
So I had my one active charity already this month. So FedEx, being terrible as they are, delivered a package to my shop where I work, and it was not for us. So it had another person's name on it. It was from a store where I'm like, dude, this has to be a Christmas gift. So for 2 days, I waited for FedEx to come back and come grab this package and take it to this person. And they never did. So I got sick of waiting. I threw that bad boy in my car and I took it to that person's house after work. You know, had to get it to them. Christmas. Got to make sure they got it.
You get a Charizard badge for that one.
Yes.
Come pick up your Charizard badge.
I need you to ship the Moltres one for right here. Right here.
Yeah, that would look good right there.
You get one too. For it. You get one too. Don't worry. Christmas bird.
Dude, back on the subscriptions thing though. Like, you're not kidding. How much is Netflix up to now? It's like almost $20, right? So, you know, people bitched and complained when cable TV or satellite TV was like $100 a month.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to watch all these different shows, each platform has its own shows on there. Like you don't get all the same shows on all these platforms. So you're getting a Netflix subscription, a Hulu subscription, Paramount, Peacock, you name it. At the end of the day, you could be paying $200 a month just to stream freaking movies and shows. It's absurd. What you need to do is what Mike said. Just get a retro gaming console, go home, turn it on, play. You're done. You don't need anything else. Who needs TV?
I'm not supposed to even really say this, but I'm going to because they said I could. I was actually talking to the guys over here at, Hyperlink and all their funness that they were doing with all their, fun things. And they have a lot more stuff on the way. So a cool thing that they make is they can make retro controllers that work on the PC.
Oh yeah,
and there's enough like sites out there where I don't obviously people want to play certain games. You can find them online, and you can actually use like there's one that looks like a game or a Super Nintendo controller. Hook it into your PC, and you can actually play like the Super Nintendo games on, and it looks pretty neat.
Yeah, and have the actual controller instead of using the keyboard.
Where's my wallet?
Right, like that's pretty cool. For all your emulator
That's
needs.
Like carry it. Not crazy.
Yeah. Well, the Hyperkin is better because it uses the actual cartridges, the games, and stuff like that.
You're not emulating.
I mean, they got the option for those of you who like to play emulators on websites. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know, but I realize like how cool these are. I do need something though that has the games with them because I don't have these games anymore. I got rid of all my games.
And building, I've found out that building up the collection again is very expensive.
Super nice.
It looks like really cool. It looks like a Super Nintendo. Come on now.
Yeah, it's really dope.
Dude, Hyperkin's got it. They know what they're doing.
January is your
I mean, it's one of those things where we just even got a ton.
It'd be a good.
No joke, dude. It is seriously the season for me knocking down prices. I add games to orders. I've been adding extra controllers, building pretty decent bundles. Remember, I'm not GameStop or Walmart. We can work something out.
This is Santa Mike you're talking to, people. Santa Mike. He can help you out.
I can. And I have a pile of old. There's no way I just got a Final Fantasy VII traded in. Oh, wait, I did.
I have Final Fantasy VII, the PlayStation 1 version, but I only have 2 discs. Somehow the third disc is gone.
Just kidding.
Oh, no.
I'm still here. I was going to hop in the car.
And drive all the way up there.
He's going to blow an hour and a half in gas to come up here.
Yeah.
I may have.
I'm open tomorrow.
The PlayStation version of 1 and 2 when they remastered that. I may have that in my retro game case. Yeah,
I leave one of the Hyperkins. I leave one of them out for everybody to test and play, and I left Tetris in. And I had like my 2 dungeon masters that were supposed to be doing their D&D game. We're over here playing Tetris, and I'm like, guys, you have to go to your game. And I keep getting the 1 minute. I'm like, no, your guys are waiting for you to get over there. And they're like, 1 minute. I'm on like 6. I'm like, I don't care what level you're on. Go run your game.
Oh, that's awesome.
But just buy the damn console. I'll throw you Tetris and go home. And I actually just got some pretty decent trade-ins too. Oh, you know the big chonkin guy, the Retron 5?
Okay.
He plays Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Super Nintendo, and the Genesis games.
Yeah, that's the one I
can confirm. I can confirm Pokemon Silver does work in it.
Ooh, nice. I actually think I have Pokemon Silver.
So do I.
I think I got that one. I got yellow. I got leaf green, sapphire. I think that's all that I can think of.
I got off the phone with them, and they said the Pokemon games is the first games they test.
I'm sure they're probably the most popular ones. But just being able to play the Game Boy game on the big screen has got to be cool. That's got to be dope.
It's amazing. Yeah. If you come down, Corey, I will let you throw it up on the TV, and I'll let you see it.
I will come down. I got to find out. I got to find a day. I got to find some time to get myself down there. So I will talk to the wife, see what our schedule is looking like, and I will make my way down there too.
Jared, you as well.
He's just gonna hop in his car.
It's a 4-hour drive, man.
No biggie.
When you're around,
All right,
Yeah.
what else do we got for tonight? You got anything else that's been stewing, got you going crazy? That
Oh,
you
there's a
wanna
lot.
Get off your mind.
Path of Exiles 2, I believe, that just came out.
What is it?
Path of Exiles 2.
Path of Exiles 2.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain. It's like a top-down, like Diablo, right?
Oh,
It's
okay.
like a top-down view. I played a little bit of the first one. I wasn't big into Path of Exile, but I know the second one just came out, and there's a lot of hype with that. Ooh, did servers go down? I don't know. Launch delayed. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, good.
The gaming industry is kind of not doing so hot right now, and it's kind of like Mr. Stark. I don't feel so good, and they're like, "Well, Ubisoft is in trouble a little bit." I mean, after his guy made that comment, a lot of people are like, "Well, yeah, right here, right back at you, buddy." You know what I mean? Like it's kind of that. Oh, you know what? We always do like a little bit of in history of. It is the wrapping up. I want to say one of the anniversaries of one of the WWF games that used to come out back in the day.
Okay.
And it was like the WWF for the Super Nintendo or the Nintendo 64. I think it was Nintendo 64. It was like No Mercy or Here Comes the Pain or whatever it was.
No Mercy. That was a popular one, man, when that came out. To this day, there's a lot of people that still say that is the best WWE game. I think the fun part about those WWF games back in the day is that they were more like just a fighting game. They weren't as detailed and as crazy as they are nowadays, where it's like legit, like it's a pretty cool game, but it was really just button mashing games back then. But they were a lot of fun.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like, you know, you can make your own wrestler. You can have it like, you know, get a steel pipe and beat somebody with it, and all that crap. And like every year there was a new WWE versus SmackDown that came out, and it was like, you know, you could have the legendary match, and they always did like you could finally do Hulk Hogan versus, you know, John Cena and see who was the better of the two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was crazy to watch those games even kind of evolve as they are now. You know, you say what you will about old games. Yeah, the graphics suck. This is whatever. But once again, it wasn't pay per wrestler. You had to download it. You had to win matches. You had to do certain things.
Yeah.
You had to do Hell in the Cell to unlock Mankind. Like that was the kind of, you know what I mean?
Back when video games knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
That's why I said, dude, the crash is coming.
It's gonna suck.
You know what?
Suck, you know what?
We'll just go back to playing the shit that we grew up on, the stuff that we loved.
But
I think
that's what
people like
everybody's
us will
doing.
be fine.
Everybody's either like picking up something and being like, well, you know, I'm sick of paying $20 for a better sound in a game. What else you got? And it's kind of that, you know, I had a guy walk in and I have Pokemon Yellow in the case, and he was like, holy crap, I remember that. And I said,
yeah,
right next to Crash Bandicoot, where he was like, dude, Crash Bandicoot, I haven't played that since forever. And I said, well, say what you want, but $30 buys you the whole game.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah, it's crazy with all the microtrans. I mean, we did a whole episode about microtransactions a while back.
sure
We did.
Yeah.
And it's wild to think that that's like people are finally catching on to be like, hey, this isn't a good idea. It's like, yeah, you think?
Yeah, but the thing is, as humans, we're gonna fucking do it. We're gonna buy it, and these companies don't care. Like, it's no shame. Like they're just like, hey, we'll put these in. People will buy it. They will.
Money
And
grabs.
We do because we want that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, even like the new Pokemon game that's coming out, where they finally listened and were like, you guys rushed the last game and it was glitchy and awful. And they said, fine, we'll take a couple of years off and we'll build a decent one.
Well, I
Dave
like
says-
that better. Oh yeah, take a few years, build a nice game.
Yeah, take your time, do it right. Dave says the indies are thriving while
you don't have to rush.
AAA is writhing, and that's because some indies are trying to recapture what we loved about playing games, especially retro games. I've seen that a lot. What games like Cuphead or Hollow Knight, those were some cool scroller games. But they're constantly putting out games like that are a lot of fun. And he's right. They recapture what we loved about playing games when we were kids, man. It's about getting that feeling of nostalgia. And I think even those old games, like the old style games, when they come out with something new like that, it can even resonate with the younger audience. It gives them something new, something exciting, something different. So I don't know. Maybe we see a turn in the future and see more stuff like that coming out. I hope anyway.
I 100% see independent games taking over from AAA and all that stuff. Like Call of Duty is always going to be Call of Duty. Kids are always going to buy because that was like the game to play. But what is like the biggest games is like watching, indie games getting played and watching people like, these are incredible. This is awesome. It's going back when games kind of felt like incredible. I mean, even with Sony coming out with like, they were talking about a new handheld and all that stuff. Did you guys own a PSP before?
Yep.
Yeah, that thing was incredible. That thing was years ahead of its time. In fact, you had to get to internet source. You could download every game you bought off the marketplace. You could play PlayStation 1 games on it. You can buy, there was movies. You could have bought like the little kind of like
tiny...
I don't know really how to explain it.
UMD
like a little disc.
Yeah. I think they called them UMD discs.
You could buy like movies. Yeah. Something like that. But you could buy like movies off of that. You could buy games. You could have like did anything. You could have checked the internet. You could go on the internet with the thing. Like it was nuts. And this was back in like, people were like, oh, well, there's not really any games coming out for it. And it's like, well, God forbid. You know what I mean? There isn't 3 games a week out for it, but it was cool. I mean, that was the game that had Crisis Core for Final Fantasy on it. Yep. They had their own like bunch of their own little games that only came out. Ratchet and Clank had their own game out for it. I think that, what the hell is it? Twisted Metal came out with a game for it. There was a couple games on there that made people actually go run out and be like, holy crap, I actually do love this little handheld thing. This is actually a lot of fun.
That's where you got the final, and I think it was, you're right, Crisis Core, but that's the game, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, where you were more playing as Vincent, right?
No, that was Dirge of Cerberus.
Cerberus.
Yes. That was on
Dirge
the
of Cerberus PS2 game. Crisis Core was a game we got to play as Zack. It was before Zach, like the
okay, so that's Zack. Okay.
Figuring out that cloud isn't really like
Yes. All right.
But now that they've changed 7 with the whole time jumping air and all that stuff, I mean, that I don't know.
Is it? Yeah.
I don't know.
My problem with that part of the remake is which story is canon? Which one's the real story? The original or the remake?
You'll never know. Go buy another $70 and we'll tell you.
I guess it's whatever you want it to be, right? Whichever one you like more, sure. Go with that. Run with that.
Well, it's like she's dead, but she's not, because that's another dimension, Aerith coming through, and she's like, you're not supposed to have this yet. This is supposed to happen, but wait a minute, you didn't let it happen. Now don't worry about it. It's like the story concludes in another couple years. Don't worry, you'll pay for it. And then it's like, well, why did you do it that way? And a lot of people are not happy about it. And I could tell Corey's not thrilled with it, but it's,
I feel like most of the fans of Final Fantasy VII that played it back in the day really wanted him to save Aerith.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I know there's still that group. I think, well, no, I don't believe they did. I refuse to believe they did. To me, I don't want to give spoilers to people who haven't played it yet, but it frustrates me. Like, I know there's a group of people that say she had to die. That had to happen. It had to happen to progress the story. But to me, I don't think so. I don't think she had to die.
Yes.
No.
Yes, she did.
Okay, but now listen. Why? Because her prayer was already heard. So what does that change? Her prayer was already heard. What does it change in the future if she lives?
But she already knew, in the live stream already told her, and she knew from a child basis that, yes, that she knew she was going to have to give herself up, because they already, like, one of the Planet Base already told her. If you're going off of the remake, which is kind of like a really funny story about it, was like, yeah, that like she already had a PlayStation in her room, so she already played like 7, so she already knew this was going to happen. The point of the remake was that basically Final Fantasy VII from the PS1 was the bad ending, and this is her trying to go back and like kind of get the good ending. And one part of that was like, oh, Aerith has to live. And it's like, well, no, she doesn't. She's got to give herself up for the live stream, which released this whole
That's how you get that's how you get the white materia.
Yeah.
It's a materia that does nothing because she didn't know how to use it.
Damn it. That's still sad. Still sad. I didn't cry as much the second time. First time I played the game, I was really sad, man. I was all in my feels. Little 12-year-old me. I was sad.
No. My Aerith died. I don't know.
I was more into Yuna. Yeah. So,
Yuna.
Not Yuna. Tifa.
Yeah. Oh, Tifa.
Yeah. Tifa was. Yeah, that's where it was at.
Yeah, and then come 10, it wasn't Yuna. You were into Lulu, right? What's her name? Lulu? Was that it?
Oh, Lulu, the black mage on
the black mage. She was the big sister.
Mm-hmm.
She was big, all right.
That's
so
for sure.
Tifa, here we are.
Yeah, we're going down the wrong road here.
Like everybody didn't notice.
So I think that the original Final Fantasy with the Light Warriors and trying to revive the orbs, I think that would make a pretty cool remake, or complete remake. I think that'd be pretty dope.
Warriors of Light and all that.
Yep, I love that. I love that idea. I love that concept. I love that story. They told the story, but they didn't really have an in-depth story. Like, I think it would be cool to give it a lot more and to make that world with today's technology. I think that would be really cool. I'd love to see the Lich.
I hope to God they do.
See Carrie and Kraken and Tiamat, all that chaos.
So Dave said that Aerith wasn't the first Final Fantasy character to die permanently. That goes to the old man in Final Fantasy V.
I have yet to play 5, believe it or not.
Get your ass over there and go play 5.
I have a lot of games to play now.
I have a lot of games to play.
Now, hey, watch it. Now that I'm not playing online bullshit anymore, now that I don't care about Apex Legends anymore because that game went. Now that I'm back to what I used to love.
Surviving.
The old
all these games are dropping off left and right. Oh, look, Final Fantasy VII and the crappy games you played by yourself are holding up just fine.
Give me the whole
fun?
Final Fantasy series. Give me the whole series. I'm gonna play them all now.
I'll do you one better. Corey or Jared, you get yourself down here, pick up one of these. I'll let you take any game out of the case you want for it.
Yes.
That was my answer. Just kidding.
Victory. Yeah, baby. Dave, I just want to say thank you so much for hopping in chat with us tonight and having a conversation. We really appreciate that. That's awesome, man.
We appreciate that greatly.
Yeah.
Anything else tonight? Too.
Offer goes to him too. You hear that, Dave? Offer goes to you. You buy one of those Hyperkin consoles, you can pick any game out of the case.
Top shelf, whatever you want.
He does ship. He does have shipping. So
I have a coworker that's huge into the video games, and he has quite the collection. So I might have to get one of these consoles.
DragonsDen570.com.
Yes.
All right. Anything else before we wind down for the night, gentlemen?
Do you remember the Topps trading cards back in the Pokemon era days?
Vaguely.
Where they were in the movies and they were doing like the whole, like when the movie came out and Vitamin C did the opening and everybody was all like, oh my God, it was so amazing. And it was so great.
I remember getting the gold cards or the gold bricks. You know what I mean? I had like a gold Togepi.
Oh, was that?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, inside the Pokeball. Was that a McDonald's thing?
Was that a McDonald's
That was
thing?
A Burger King thing.
That was a
Burger King. Yeah, I remember those. I had a few of those. Those were cool. Wish I still had them.
Where Topps did like the cards and they were like the, It's like we have Pokemon at home. No, we don't, Mom. You have Pokemon cards at home. No, we don't.
It's not the same.
Like, Blastoise or whatever. And you brought these to school and you're like, look, I have cards to trade. And I'm like, nobody wants those. Well, apparently people do want them. So
Speaking
I just think
Pokemon,
this picture is hysterical. And I won't bring it up again. It is just Charizard's head stuck in a pipe.
Gotta love it.
I gotta see the Pikachu bug. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You should have took that.
I should have.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda, oughta. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Corey should come down and we should do packing things down here.
Oh, yeah. You can figure that out. I'll let you know when I can swing down, man. I'll let you know.
Swing down next to. We'll grab a box of whatever and we'll crack it open. We'll do some pack openings.
Okay. We can do that. All right. I think that's going to do it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank you for joining us, hanging out, having a chat. We really appreciate that. If it is your first time here, make sure you click that follow button. We are on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitch at NDT Podcast. You can find us all over the place. So make sure you do that. We are definitely most interactive over on Facebook. So hit us up over there to chat a little bit more. What do we got going on? I don't know what we got going on coming up this week. It is Sunday for the variety show, I do believe. I believe it's this Sunday.
Monday.
Is it Monday? Am I
Pretty
backwards?
sure it's Monday.
Am I backwards this week?
Pretty sure. Right? Yeah. Monday.
When's that ghost hunting lady coming
I
back?
don't know.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. I think we're not doing any other guests at least through the end of the year. We don't have things planned out yet, but
I don't know.
Make sure
This
you
place
keep
is full of
tabs,
this
man.
shit.
We'll,
You should come in.
we'll keep you guys updated on what it is we are doing. So we hope you all enjoy the rest of your night, the rest of your weekend. And until next time, we will see you all later.
Be good.
A long time ago in a Honesdale far, far away. Dragon's Den, Games and Hobbies. Episode 1. The Rise of Games and Hobbies. It is a period of gaming war. Rebel players, striking from a hidden base in the heart of Honesdale at 552 Main Street, have won their first victory against the dull empire of the mundane. During the battle, Rebel spies managed to steal secret plans to the Empire's ultimate weapon, the Dragon's Den, an armored gaming store with enough power to provide endless entertainment. Pursued by the Empire's sinister agents, gamers race home aboard their starships, custodians of the stolen plans that can save their people and restore freedom to the galaxy. Join the rebellion and embark on epic quests, from the strategic depths of Magic the Gathering to the fantastical realms of Dungeons and Dragons and the galactic battles of Star Wars tabletop games. The Den holds the key to victory. Our extensive selection of board games promises endless fun for friends and family. The Den is open for your daily dose of fun Monday from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., Tuesday through Thursday from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m., Friday from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m., Saturday from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m., and Sunday from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're a seasoned gamer or new to the dice, our welcoming community and knowledgeable staff are here to guide you through the stars. For inquiries, transmit messages to 570-647-4633 or via the Holonet at dragonsdengamingandhobbies@gmail.com. Stay updated with the latest Rebel dispatches and events by following us on the Holonet at facebook.com/dragonsdenpa. Dragon's Den, Games and Hobbies, where every game is an adventure waiting to unfold. Visit us today and let the games begin.
Today's episode is sponsored by Dragon's Den, Games and Hobbies. You can visit them at 552 Main Street in Honesdale, PA, or call them at 570-647-4633.